couple of years ago, you may have noticed this weird emergence of flat earthers online, claiming, of course, that the Earth is a flat plane instead of a sphere. There's a lot of debate surrounding the flat earthers about what we're actually standing on, because when you have a worldview based on fantasy, you can't have any consistency whatsoever. Some people seem to think that there's an ice wall around the edge that holds the water in. Some people seem to think there's lands beyond this ice wall that the government is hiding. And others believe there's a dome-like structure called the firmament that keeps us from exploring the outer reaches of space. These all have one thing in common: they're all bullshit. Today, however, I want to look at one flat earther called Level Earth Observer. This absolute powerhouse of intelligent observation tackles a lot of spaceflight related subjects, with his obvious through point being it's all fake and that NASA is lying to you, because of course they are. This guy has a particular hate boner for the space shuttle, with such video titles as NASA's Space Shuttle Fraud Exposed, NASA's Space Shuttle Sinks the Hubble Space Telescope, The Space Shuttle Charade Exposed, and Flat Earth, Space Shuttle Technology Exposes Space. The description of this one reads, "I actually like the space shuttle." How sweet. You'd think for someone who's such a big fan of the shuttle, he'd have some idea about how the shuttle works, how spaceflight works, and some understanding of basic physics concepts, but doing actual research is too much effort for this poor fella. This guy's modus operandi is to compare some videos and pictures, make up some kind of story with zero credibility or evidence, and proclaim that NASA is a pantomime or charade or whatever his word of the week is. Sprinkle in some ignorance about spaceflight in general, and you have the perfect recipe for the typical Level Earth Observer video. Let's actually watch a video of his and find out just how much one person can be confidently wrong, shall we?
Liftoff on Space Shuttle Flight's final visit to enhance the vision of Hubble into the deepest grandeur of our universe.
Okay, Houston, the Falcon is on the plane at Hadley. Roger, Falcon.
I'm going to show you how silly the Space Shuttle program was. I'm going to use footage from the very first ever Space Shuttle mission, STS-1. We join the action as the Space Shuttle is supposedly doing 17,500 miles an hour around the globe Earth. They've just opened their cargo doors and they're about to do an inspection. So let's have a look.
Okay, we want to show y'all here. We do have a few tiles missing off of both of them. Off of the starboard pod, 3 tile and some smaller pieces, and off the port pod, looks like I see one full square and looks like a few little triangular shapes that are missing, and we're trying to put that on TV right now. Roger, Grip, we can see that good.
So that's not good. As you can see, several of the tiles, the heat tiles, which protect the Space Shuttle against extreme temperatures during re-entry, several of those tiles are actually missing. Yeah, really not good, and quite revealing.
Ugh. Well, we aren't even 2 minutes in, we already have a problem. Let's review some basics about the shuttle's thermal protection. The shuttle used a variety of thermal protection systems to keep the craft running and safe during thermal stressing events, such as re-entry. Megamind here proclaims that the white tiles missing from the OMS pod, as seen in the video, offer re-entry protection, which is a clever misinterpretation of the facts. The white tiles, known as Low Temperature Reusable Surface Insulation, or LRSI, were, for re-entry protection, below 649 degrees Celsius. But this is nothing compared to the re-entry heating that the belly of the shuttle was exposed to, which is exactly why they aren't on the belly of the shuttle. The black tiles that comprise the belly are designed for more extreme thermal stressing, and as such, these are covering the belly of the shuttle. Unless Level Earth Observer is about to claim that the shuttle re-entered upside down, I can't imagine why he'd leave out such an important detail.
And this is where it starts to get sillier and sillier. I'm over at Google. How are the Space Shuttle tiles attached? The tiles were not mechanically fastened to the vehicle, but glued. Since the brittle tiles could not flex with the underlying vehicle skin, they were glued to Nomex felt strain isolation pads with room temperature vulcanizing silicon adhesive, which in turn glued to the orbiter's skin. So essentially that's a lot of fancy names to describe essentially these tiles were glued to the orbiter. Oh dear.
I do wonder if level Earth observers' back hurts from carrying around that humongous brain, because only a top scientist would describe a precise, well-explained procedure as fancy names. Why don't you look up those fancy names and learn about this process? Well, we all know why he won't. In level Earth observer's mind, he thinks they glued on the tiles with a fucking Pritt stick. Maybe they used the green one.
The aluminum skin will melt at 320 degrees. The silicate tiles must insulate the vehicle from the tremendous heat.
So the aluminium skin that's underneath these tiles will melt when it's exposed to temperatures greater than 320 degrees. And that's a major problem when we're looking at this old school footage from STS-1. Because essentially, we've now got parts of the space shuttle that are exposed. They're weak links in the chain, if you like, where we've got the aluminium skin not protected by a heat tile. What makes it worse now, the temperatures during re-entry, NASA have told us it's around about 3,000 degrees, which would be terrible for this situation which we see on our screen right now. But they're ranging from anything from 3,000 degrees from NASA all the way up to 9,000 degrees from a NASA legend, a space shuttle legend, Gibson, who had this to say about temperatures regarding re-entry.
Start hitting the Earth's atmosphere because you'll start to see a little bit of a glow outside your window. It's white hot outside. It's just as bright as day. And the air outside is 9,000 degrees. Well, that's hotter than the surface of the sun.
As I already mentioned, the belly of the shuttle takes the brunt of the heat, which is why it uses a different type of thermal protection that Level Earth Observer is still conveniently unaware of. Funny that. While we are on the topic of extreme heats, the highest temperatures during re-entry do not even reach the shuttle's thermal protection system. The highest temperatures, as described by NASA and Gibson, form at the shockwave, where the air is suddenly compressed and accelerated by the cooler boundary layer of air around the shuttle. Gibson even says the air outside, meaning not the shuttle itself, clearly lacking some comprehension skills there.
For anyone claiming, oh, they fixed it before they returned, no. So I'm over at NASA, STS-1, touchdown, landing the first space shuttle mission. We get an image here. I'm just going to nip into the image. When I zoom in, we can see the tiles haven't been replaced.
I guarantee you, nobody has ever claimed it was repaired. Well, that was disappointing. An argument built on lies and misinterpretation. Zero substance to it. Let us see if Level Earth Observer can redeem himself and make a good argument with this video.
So we're going to have a look at the short clip in question. It's being narrated by one of the astronauts.
After we got that thing out of the way, we were able to continue with the repair, and we had a few little problems, but nothing like that handrail being in the way. That's a capture plate that we put over the instrument that allowed us to access 117 small screws that we needed to remove from the access panel. Then we removed this power supply, put a new one in, sealed it up, and so far so good. It looks like this is up and working again.
And I'll just pause it there. You may have spotted an issue there, you may not have. But we're going to zoom in on a particular part of the clip we've just seen.
Before I even tackle this, I just want to ask, what is it with conspiracy theorists and videos that have abhorrent video quality? It took me 3 minutes to find something better, and here it is. Anyway, what was he saying again?
This short clip's on loop. Pay particular attention to the reflection on the top of the astronaut's helmet. You can see a certain lighting formation. I'll let it play a few more times. In fact, it looks like at the bottom of the astronaut's helmet, at a certain point when we come to about there, looks like I can see a yellow tank. But we'll leave that. We'll just focus on the actual lighting, the formation of the lighting, okay? Let it come once more. I'm going to take some snapshots, some stills of this, and I'm going to show you exactly what it is, okay? Once more. I'm going to zoom in on the reflection of the astronaut's helmet there, looking at this lighting formation. We've got several rows of light bulbs going away from us. Then on the right hand side, we've got what looks like a neon light, one of those tubes that were popular in the 70s and the 80s. Now what makes this even worse, in between the rows of lights, we can see what appears to be rafters, supports for a roof, to hold the roof up, and of course the lighting formation that we're seeing in place. Another shot here, caught at the end of the clip we looked, and we can see the neon light, the strip light on the right now, has been joined by another row of what looks like light bulbs. So we've got lights running away from us in lines, light bulbs, and we've got a neon light below one of the runs of light bulbs on the right. Now this makes all perfect sense when we come to NASA's Neutral Buoyancy Lab.
I wish I hadn't have asked. This is embarrassing. They are in the airlock of the shuttle. Look at these pictures. It's the same place. Why would they not have lights in the airlock? They have to be able to see so they can don the EVA suit. I'd also love to know where the fuck he's seeing these rafters, because you cannot make out shit at this video resolution.
Zoom in on that lighting formation on the top of his hat, on the top of his helmet there. Look familiar, doesn't it? So this is the official training suit for the Hubble repair mission. The official spacewalk suit for the Hubble repair mission. Training suit with its yellow torches and different pivot point on the visor. Official suit with different torches and different pivot points on the visor.
Level Earth Observer is good at one thing, and that's debunking his own videos. In the training footage you can see the reflection of tens of lights, but in the mission footage we can only see 3. Did they just forget to turn them on? Seems rather dangerous. Completely fair comparison there. Finally, I just want to bring up some other training footage and ask Level Earth Observer where the fuck the bubbles have gone. These training suits shit out bubbles like crazy, and yet there's none in the mission footage, almost as if it was filmed in space or something. And that's it for that one, even bloody worse. This brings me to the point of this video. These guys have nothing, zero evidence. All they do is observe something beyond their understanding, do zero research, make baseless and misinformed conjecture, and then cover their ears when they're inevitably corrected. I'm fairly certain Level Earth Observer knows he's lying. He doesn't get a lot of views, but his engagement is good, and the comments are just as unhinged as he is. It's a bit sad that he has to stoop this low to find some kind of fulfillment, instead of providing the world with something good, but oh well. That's enough of our resident lunatic today. Thanks for watching, like and subscribe and all that bollocks, and thanks for watching.